The idea and importance of sustainability is not new for the East Goshen Mennonite Church congregation. A few years ago, we spent time exploring this topic through the sermon series, For God So Loved the Cosmos. Why do we care about creation care? The series discussed what it means to care for creation and what sustainability looks like through the lens of our earth, our community, our spirituality, and caring for one another. So how have we been doing since we've had those initial conversations? And what are some other things we might focus on as a church community as we work towards caring for God's creation and doing our part to care for this one precious earth that we've been given? The MYF and JFrogs spend time each year picking up trash in our church neighborhood in what has become known as Beautify Blackport. This has been an opportunity to talk about care for creation in our local community and demonstrates a seemingly small but important thing that we can do to make a positive difference in caring for our environment. East Goshen has designated a portion of wooded space behind the church building to an outdoor sanctuary space. The care and intentionality to create and utilize this space brings us into nature and provides opportunity to experience and value God's creation. Perhaps we could consider utilizing this outdoor worship space more regularly. A significant project in July of 2019, our congregation installed a solar panel array. Since installation, our solar panels have produced an average of 9,584 kilowatt hours per month. This has saved 130,500 pounds of CO2 emissions and is the equivalent of 986 trees planted. Electricity and natural gas make up a significant part of our carbon footprint. Comparing 2019, when we met at church every Sunday, to 2021, when we were meeting nearly exclusively via Zoom, we can get a sense of our usage and the environmental impact. I'm not suggesting that we make virtual worship a permanent occurrence, but it is interesting to consider the environmental impact of operating our building and can perhaps inspire us to continue to find ways to conserve and think creatively about making our gathering and operations more efficient and sustainable. In 2019, our annual electric usage of 144,640 kilowatt hours was equivalent to the carbon dioxide emissions from 69,229 pounds of coal burned, as compared to the 2021 amount of 87,600 kilowatt hours, which is equivalent to the carbon dioxide emissions of 41,928 pounds of coal burned. In 2019, our annual gas usage was equivalent to the greenhouse gas emissions of 6.6 gas-powered vehicles, as opposed to 4 gas-powered vehicles in 2021. Perhaps timers and motion sensors for lighting, expanding our solar array to produce more of our needed electricity, and replacing old and inefficient equipment are ways we can continue to work towards sustainability. We might consider a designated giving category specifically to fund sustainability initiatives in our church. I mentioned lighting a little while ago, and it's important to note that we have begun changing to high-efficiency light bulbs, both outside and throughout the church building. We will continue to work at this changeover, another seemingly small but important step towards sustainability. During a typical week, East Goshen utilizes about 1 ream, or 5 pounds of paper, to print bulletins and various other documents and resources. While this may not seem like much, let me quantify the impact of 5 pounds of paper per week for 1 year. Manufacturing this 260 pounds of paper used produces 2,780 gallons of wastewater and 153 pounds of solid waste per year. Compare that to the 1 pound of paper used per week in 2019, which produces 556 gallons of wastewater and just 30.6 pounds of solid waste per year. The difference is quite drastic. Could we continue to utilize more digital resources, bulletins, newsletters, meeting agendas, and notes? Perhaps QR codes could be scanned to easily access bulletins and other resources. I think it's worthwhile to understand the impact of our church commute on our carbon footprint. Statistics are based on calculations of church members traveling from their home address. The average distance traveled per vehicle was 9.8 miles, and the estimated number of vehicles driven per week was 104. In 2019, we drove the equivalent of 2 trips around the Earth, and in 2021, we drove just 1/4 of the way around the Earth. Meeting together is important to our church community. So how might we work at lessening our environmental impact? We could consider having a quarterly transportation activity to raise awareness and lessen our footprint. Those who are able could bike or walk to church. Others might consider carpooling with neighbors or fellow church members who live nearby. The opportunities are many, and while the potential impact may seem small, the important thing is that we are doing something and that we continue to look for ways to do more.